Math 1332, Chapter 7, Consumer Mathematics, Section 5, Installment Buying, Video 3, Computing a Monthly Payment. In the previous video, we calculated the amount financed, the total installment price, and the finance charge. In this video, all of those things are involved, but the stuff that we're given is a little bit different, and the stuff that we calculated is a little bit different. But you'll notice all the same terms are interacting with each other. A newlywed young couple bought $9,000 worth of furniture for their new home. The down payment was $1,000. The balance was financed for 3 years at 8% simple interest. All right, before we jump into this problem, let's notice a few things different about what we were given. We were given a down payment, but what we weren't given was a monthly payment. And yeah, that's it. We weren't given a monthly payment. We are told how long we're going to pay, so the term, if you will, of the installment plan. They're going to take 3 years to pay this off. Now notice what we were given. We were given an interest rate of 8% simple interest per year. So how are we going to use that? Well, honestly, a finance charge can be thought of as the interest that you pay for the privilege of purchasing something on an installment plan. So in this case, instead of finding the finance charge by taking the total that we're paying and subtracting the price of the item, we're actually going to calculate the finance charge as a certain percent of interest of what we still owe. All right, so let's see what we're asked to find. A, find the amount financed. B, find the finance charge, the interest. C, find the total installment price. And then D, find the monthly payment. And when we get to part D, we'll talk about how to calculate the monthly payment. All right, let's start with the amount financed. The amount financed in general is how much you still owe after the down payment. So in this case, the amount financed is still the stated purchase price minus the down payment. As long as you remember the idea, amount financed means what do I still owe you, then it's usually pretty easy to calculate. We're buying something worth $9,000. We are giving them $1,000 right now, so that's an easy subtraction problem. And the amount financed, the amount financed is $8,000. So not a whole lot going on there. So there's part A. But what about part B, find the finance charge? Well, the finance charge is the same as the interest. And what are we told about the finance charge? The balance was financed for 3 years. I'm trying to do something here. There we go. 3 years at 8% simple interest per year. So if the finance charge is the interest, really we're just being asked to calculate the interest on what we owe at 8% simple interest per year. So it would look a little something like this, if I can get this to type. Our finance charge, in this case, is not total installment price minus amount finance, because we don't know the total installment price yet. Total installment price minus stated purchase price. The finance charge is the interest on, well, the amount that we're borrowing. Do we have to pay interest on the entire $9,000? We do not, because I paid $1,000 of it up front. Why should I pay interest on something that I'm giving you right now? Interest is the charge that you pay for borrowing money over time. I'm not borrowing the first $1,000, I'm giving it to you right up front. So in this case, when you're calculating the finance charge, it's the interest on the amount financed, which was the $8,000. And it says it's simple interest, so let's go ahead and put the word simple up there. And recall that we have a formula for simple interest. And simple interest is principal times rate times time. Well, our principal is how much is the amount financed. So we are borrowing $8,000 essentially from this seller. The interest rate is 8%, so it's a decimal, 0.08, and we're paying this out over 3 years. So we're actually going to calculate the finance charge as interest on what we are borrowing, more specifically, interest on the amount that we're financing. So let's see what that equals. I shouldn't need a calculator, but I don't want to do it in my head and waste time if something goes astray. The interest, that seems like a lot. Let's try it again. 8,000 times 0.08 times 3. Nope, that's right. The simple interest on this is $1,920. So this is the amount extra they would pay for the privilege of financing this over 3 years. Let's highlight that answer. All right. We still got to find the total installment price and the monthly payment. So let's go to the next page and do that. Okay, so here's the problem with our first two answers. We're financing $8,000 and our total finance charge is $1,920. Our next step is to find the total installment price. Now, this is where I said before, don't get so hung up on formulas, but ideas. Because in the previous video, when Emily was buying the car, we found the total installment price by simply adding up everything that Emily was going to pay in terms of the down payment and all the monthly payments. But we can't do that here because we don't know the monthly payment. But we do know the finance charge. So if you think about total installment price as the total I'm going to pay you, I have all the information I need. I'm going to pay you the $1,000 down, the amount financed, which you think about it, those two together have to be the stated purchase price, but I'm also going to pay the finance charge, which we already calculated. So if you wanted to make it look like a formula, the total installment price would be the stated purchase price plus the finance charge. Of course, I didn't spell purchase correctly. Now, you could also think of this part, which I'm about to highlight, as down payment plus amount financed, but think about it, that's just the stated purchase price. So in all, I am going to pay $9,000 because that's what the price of the furniture is, plus an extra $1,920 as a finance charge. And so the sum of that is $10,920. All right. So sometimes to find the total installment price, it's not down payment plus all the monthly payments. Sometimes it's purchase price plus the extra finance charge you're going to pay. So don't get hung up on formulas. Know the idea. Total installment price is everything I'm paying for this item. All right, so let's add that to our answers up there. Okay, the last thing is to calculate the monthly payment. Now let's think about this for a second. Put yourself in this situation. You're at the furniture store. You're going to pay $9,000 for the furniture plus $1,920 in finance charge and interest, but you've already paid $1,000 of it. We're going to pay the rest over 3 years, monthly payments. So we need to know two things. How much more do I still owe after the down payment? And how many payments am I going to make? Well, both of those questions are pretty easy to answer. The monthly payment is going to be the amount owed after the down payment divided by the total number of months. Okay, so we got to figure out both of those things. Let's start with the total amount owed. All right, now the total installment price is $10,920, but that's not what I owe because that's not the amount after the down payment. Again, you got to be very careful. When do you include a down payment, when you don't? When I'm calculating the monthly payments, I don't need to pay the down payment again. The amount that I still owe you after the down payment is the amount financed. So I still owe you $8,000 because I only paid $1,000 plus the $1,920 in interest that I agreed to pay for financing this. And how many months is that? Well, there's 3 years. So that's 3 times 12. 3 years times 12 months a year. Let's see what this equals. If I add the $8,000 and the $1,920, that is $9,920, and that's being paid out over 36 months. And let's see what that equals. 9,920 divided by 36 is 275.555555, and the last 5 rounded it up to a 6. Rounded off to the nearest cent, $275.56. And that would be our monthly payment. Just a quick comment on the monthly payment. This did round up. So if I multiplied that by 36, it would be a little bit more than 9,920. In fact, $275.56 times 36 is $9,920.16. Because rounding happens when you calculate monthly payment, the last monthly payment is usually adjusted to bring it up to the correct amount that you still owe after the down payment. So in this case, since if I did all 36 payments at $275.56, it would be 16 cents over, which means the last payment would actually be reduced by 16 cents. I know it's not a big deal, but sometimes when people get to the last payment, they're like, why was it less than the others? Because of rounding issues. All right, so I stress again, don't get hung up on trying to memorize formulas for monthly payment, total installment price, amount financed, finance charge, all that stuff. Understand how everything's related together and ask yourself, how do I take the information that I have to get the information that I want?